Morning! Back from our arcade spirits. Let's jump into it. Last time we had the beach episode and hung out with everyone and a hardcore romanced Ashley. Also, I was wrong about the number of chapters in this game. There are 8 chapters in this game, so, we should be finishing it up at the end of this week if we continue with our 1 chapter per stream. So let's jump in. No, next week. I was thinking we were... It is the future year 20XX. And romance is in the air. Or at least, is this the one we just did? Oh no! It didn't save our...
Definitely.
It didn't actually save our thing properly. Either I quickly go through and we catch up, or I do that off stream. Let's see if we can get all of the same choices here. Sandcastles. Hand over the tiny plastic shovel. Oh, whoops, this was... There we go. This one. Tell the truth. Carney Games. Mr Moopy. Thank you all. Special place. Love you all. Arcade. Keyball Wizard. Winner is me. This one. I totally believed in ghosts. Jellyfish she didn't actually care for, but that's okay, we tried. Funnel cake. I think that's the one we picked, yep. No idea. Oh yeah, this is where we got mega called out. We did this one. Ashley. We played bingo with some old ladies. This will just be a good quick recap, eh? Okay. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Alright, now you've had the quick recap. Let's go on to... Chapter 6. Also, this game is designed like many visual novels are, so that if you want to try other paths, it's real quick to go through stuff you've seen before. Level 6, hit the lever. Now we're on track to finish this by the end of the week. It is the future year 20XX, and my dream has come true. Okay, let's be honest, if you asked me 2 months ago if my dream involved being the event coordinator at a video arcade, I'd just have stared at you kinda funky. Even now it sounds ridiculous. But it's true. I'm here. I'm successful. I'm happy. And this is my dream. Ever since Funplex Rising, business has been booming. The Funplex is packed with players, day in, day out. Kids, teens, college crowd, the nostalgic ones looking for old games they remember. I've run 3 events so far. We started rotating our games out of storage and into play to keep things fresh. The high scoreboards are constantly shifting. In fact, things are going so well, Gavin's hinted that maybe we should start looking into a second location. But this will always be home. Seeing the smiles on coworkers and gamers alike, watching my friends laugh and play in good spirits, that's working for me, and it's bringing me joy in turn. I won't argue why. In fact, I barely understand why. But I'm happy, and that's better than I've been in years of going with the flow. Going with the flow never brought me this much enjoyment. I'd say by this point, I've soundly broken the family curse. Maybe everything doesn't have to fall apart from under me. Maybe I can just be happy. Maybe this is where I'm meant to be. Sign here, please. Huh? A bicycle messenger nudges a slim envelope my way again, trying to catch my attention. I'm snapped out of my happy little trance immediately. Oh, right. No problem. After jotting down my signature, he drops off the envelope and heads right on out the door. No time for Moopy, or a round of pinball, it seems. Deliveries to make. Curious, I open it up. Hulyen Blue, you are cordially invited to dine and discuss business matters at Deco's Palace with CEO Deco Nami. Meeting time will be 7 in the evening, sharp. You may bring a guest of your choosing. Free Royal Value swipe card available for enjoyment of games prior to meeting. What? I read through it a few more times, trying to parse all the curly hues and swirls and swooshes. Although that doesn't clear my confusion of the whole matter. Her knitting's gotten bigger. Soon Francine looks up from her knitting, curious about the letter as well. Although, she seems to already have an idea of what it says. I suppose it's about that time, isn't it? Huh?
Oh, dear.
Time for that fellow to make another attempt at wooing me. Double, huh? Rather, at wooing my beloved Funplex. Let me guess, Deco Nami of Deco's Palace sent you a fancy invitation with all sorts of fancy writing. That's accurate, yes. It's not the first time. He invited my dear Frederick and I over in 1980X to talk about selling the Funplex, and we turned him down flat. Then in 1990X, when home game consoles were poised to take back the arcade crowd, he suggested we sell. We turned him down. Now it's 20XX and he's at it again. A gentleman would know when to quit, but he's got tenacity, and can't fault him for that. Why would a big-time arcade operator like Deco Nami care that much about us? We're small-time. No offense. Come now, if anyone should be offended, it's you calling yourself small-time. Hulyen dear, you've put in so much work to make my little arcade soar. I bet that's why he's knocking on our door again. We're thriving, and that's lured him back in. Like Gruyere cheese in the mousetrap. So wait, are we the cheese or the trap?
My oh my.
That depends on how clever you are, my dear. Right. So I'm the cheese. Although I prefer to be a nice mozzarella. Cheese types aside, do you want me to ignore the invite then? Oh heavens no. Contrary to what people say about the fellow, he's very much a man of his word. I always accept his invitation, always hear him out. It's only fair and proper. I thought he was like the arcade scene's greatest evildoer.
Let's be sensible.
Shh, that's a bit grandiose, no? Certainly plenty of rumors of his questionable methods abound, but that's all they are. Rumors. Politeness should be met with politeness. That's how you conduct proper business, and that's what the Funplex is all about. Francine moves to rise from her seat near the ticket desk, but pauses, leaning heavily on the glass countertop while looking strained. I move to help, but she waves me away, and sits back down. Oh, don't worry about little old me, I just stood up too quickly. That's all, just out of breath. But, Hulyen, I think it'd be best if you go in my stead. Me? Let's be serious now. These old bones aren't as spry as they once were. And I think you'd have a good time there. Well, an interesting time at any rate. I'll look my dapperest for the villainous gentleman. Then I shall don my Sunday's best to meet the mustache-twirling ruffian of the arcade legend with pride. Ha! It's not that upscale, dear. No matter which Quiglitz Dekonami favors, they still sell cheap beer by the pitcher and rarely skip grape gum from under the tables. So, go there and turn him down. Got it. The slowness of her response is a bit concerning. I trust you to make the right decision for everyone. Which is not to sell the Funplex, right?
But I don't feel that's my call to make anymore, dear. Maybe you haven't noticed, but I spend most of my time at home these days. Or napping. Or napping at home. The Funplex isn't really about me. Not anymore. It's so much more than Francine's Arcade Funplex now. It's about you. It's about your co-workers. It's about all our regulars. You've made me realize that. And I'm thankful.
It's your dream as well as mine. You're the one that started this place, Francine. You had a dream of a place where people can have fun, relax, make friends. I feel like even entertaining the idea of selling it is, well, it feels wrong. Disrespectful to you and your dream. Oh, you're a peach, dear. The times are always changing. I'm an old fuddy-duddy stuck in her ways. Maybe the time has come to change how the Funplex does things. We're almost back to the heyday of 1980X thanks to the changes you've made. So I won't say you can't decide to sell. If it's a change you think we need, do it. Please keep an open mind. Francine sighs deeply, looking more tired than usual. It's only afternoon and I'm already worn out. Haven't even done anything but sit here and knit all day. Knitting takes a lot of concentration, that's not nothing. If you're feeling pooped, you could take a few days off. Go home. Get some rest. All the same, I'd rather come in for work tomorrow, even if there's little work for me to do. I love being here. This is my true home. And yet you want me to keep an open mind about this deal.
Like I've told you, life can be a difficult series of trade-offs. What I want and what it should be are often different things. I'm relying on you to do right by everyone I love. If selling is in their best interest to keep this dream going, so be it. No matter what you decide. I'm proud of you. I knew there was something special about you when I hired you to replace my grandson. You are the brightest spirit at the Funplex. And while we may not be blood, I'm happy to consider you part of my family.
Aww. Does that mean I can borrow the car, Mom? You're the grandma I never had. I never knew my grandmothers, either of them. They died when I was really young. I feel like you filled that role. Become the grandmother I never had, Miss Francine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome home, Hulyen. You'll always be welcome here. With another deep sigh, Francine eases herself out of her chair. Now, I think I'll take your suggestion and head on home. Well, for today anyway. I'll be here bright and early in the morning to hear how things went with Mr. Nami. I know you'll make the right decision. Good night, Hulyen. Be well. Make the right decision. Okay? Nope, still not keen to sell out my dream. I just can't see it. We sell out, well, I've tried so hard, I've gone so far, and in the end, it doesn't even matter? Had to fall to lose it all. That's what old Hulyen would have said. That everything's going to collapse in on itself, so why get emotionally invested? But new Hulyen grabs onto what she wants with both hands and does not let go. If Francine wants me to hear him out, okay, but I seriously doubt this will change my mind. Now, who do I want to take as my +1? Beep beep. Eh? You want to come as my date? I'm your girl Friday, but I'm afraid you're not my type. My type being USB compatible, of course. I sensed you were in a state of deep ponderance and wanted to help. You're thinking of who to take to the meeting? Yeah. I mean, Ashley is the obvious choice. I'm sure she'd have opinions on Deco's palace. True, as part of the Funplex family, Ashley would be a good pick. But this is a business meeting. You may want to consider widening your options. Ashley will support your decision either way. It's clear she trusts you. True. Okay, then. Honestly, Gavin's probably the person to take along on this. Even if he wants to sell and I don't, he'll give me a good, balancing opinion on that. That's my thought anyway. Makes sense to you two? Yeah. Like, obviously we'd want to bring Ashley as our date, but Gavin makes the most sense, I think, to bring along for this. I fire off a quick text to Gavin to summon him from the murky depths of his tiny back office. He's still scanning over his spreadsheets, even as he approaches. He's got a tear in his pants.
Excellent.
Good news, Hulyen. This is our best week ever. I wouldn't advise getting too comfortable as summer vacation's almost over and that'll cut into the youth demographic, but... That's great, Gavin. But, Francine's got a different job for us today. We're going to Deco's palace to meet and discuss a possible business venture. Probably a takeover. I see. I've heard he's made overtures in the past. Ironically enough, this may be the ideal time to approach him when we're at our strongest. If we're to even entertain the notion, I'd rather be in a position of power before entering negotiations. But if all he wants is a buyout, well, I'd object on multiple grounds to such a short-sighted idea. I'll go close up my files and join you shortly. This is why I wanted Gavin. Don't make a big deal of this, don't make a big deal of this, don't make a big deal of this. We go there, we snicker at how awful the place is, tell Deco to shove it, go home. And then everything's back to the way it should be. It's gonna be fine. Everything is fine. Gavin offers to drive us across town to Deco's palace. Contrary to the talk before, we don't exchange many words. I'm deep in thought, running through all the possibilities of what could happen. And I can't shake this feeling. Something is off. Even looking at the glowing neon temple in the distance, my stomach knots and I feel uneasy. When we finally pull up, a valet takes the car, and glitzy blinking lights blind our eyes. Hesitantly, I look over to Gavin. That smile reassures me enough to continue onwards. This is for me, my friends, and the Funplex. I got this. I pause momentarily, inhaling the cool air around me, and then open the door. Arcade with a valet. They must have parking issues. Deco's palace. I've actually been here before. I think my 6th birthday party was here? I barely remember it, but I think I had fun. Maybe? But on entering it as an adult, my first reaction is... Okay, my first reaction is, boy, that is a weird smell. A mix of chicken grease, beer, and sweaty kids. My second reaction is, geez, is it noisy. Visually noisy and sound-type noisy. All the chaos of a Vegas casino, a jumble of lights and bells and whiz-bangs. Once we acclimate to the new environment, we're escorted in and given VIP royal value swipe cards. No tokens, no quarters, just a card of intermittent points to spend. We've got a little over an hour to kill before the meeting. Time to see what's what at the palace. Oddly, Gavin's first reaction is to crunch some numbers. Based on the conversion ratio of swipe card points to real-world dollars. Very interesting. Variable game pricing. Variable bonus points the more money you spend. Differing EV from game to game, likely adjusted based on popularity and payout. I can see why Deco's palace is a profit fountain. They obfuscate how much you're actually spending here to keep you from realizing how expensive it all is. Predatory pricing to exploit children. Don't like it. Not one bit. A token is a token, a quarter is a quarter. Using points to trick people into overspending is blatant profiteering. It's not like kids are busting out the calculators trying to make sure they aren't wasting all their money on a crappy game.
I think not.
I didn't say it was ethical. I mean that it's effective. I've wanted to switch to swipe cards for the Funplex myself. Although I'd simplify them drastically. As you say, a play should be a play ideally. Other balancing factors can be applied behind the scenes. I'd definitely like to study this a bit closer. There's a Fist of Discomfort tournament tonight. I'll be over there. I'll join back up with you later. Okay. Some time to kill, but not that much time to kill. I'll need to be choosy. What do I want to check out while waiting for my dinner date with Destiny? I want to see what kind of games they have. I decide to focus on trying to find games, like actual games. Except the whole place is basically full of slot machines. They're in different shapes, sizes, and colors. None have a traditional one-armed bandit look to avoid running afoul of legal issues, but they're still slot machines. Every game here has maybe a single button to stop a wheel at a colored light, or try to line up with the dots or something. The really complex ones? 3 buttons.
Hey, listen.
Hold me above your head. Huh? Visual scan, silly. I'll look for games you might be familiar with. With a shrug, I hoist my phone high in the air. Flash goes off, and I resume to looking at Iris sitting in my screen.
Please enjoy this recorded music.
Oh, actually, let's skip the music. That didn't take long. Good high bandwidth public Wi-Fi is here and here to my cloud processor. Let's try that sentence again. Oh, actually, let's skip the music. That didn't take long. Good high bandwidth public Wi-Fi in here to do my cloud processor. Whatever. I'm seeing lots of driving and shooting games. Easy for casual players to pick up and play. Over in the esports section, there's dancing games and Fist of Discomfort. We've got all those things too, but I'm not seeing any joysticks. Is a game defined by having particular input devices? Well, no, not really. I know most modern games are touchscreen based and so on, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like an arcade without a stick or two. Ooh, I found something. Back at that section over there with the green lighting. Head that way, that way. I weave my way through the crowd, past endless color cycler ticket games, past crane games, past light stackers, past games based on popular game shows, and find Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. I'm gonna have to tell Percy about this when I get back. He'll be happy to note there's more than one Moopy in this neighborhood. Except... Wait, it's only got one button? No joystick at all? Researching. One moment. Curious, I swipe my card through the slot and push the button. And Moopy runs the maze by himself. Or tries to anyway, before running headfirst into a monster and dying. The machine spits out 3 measly tickets and suggests I swipe again for another try. Moopy Super Maze, created in 2000XX, X. A company bought the expired rights to the Moopy brand and developed a game of chance with it. Well, that's weak. A teenager puts her deco playing card on the cabinet and taps me on the shoulder, drawing my attention.
What's up?
Hey, I'm calling next, Kay. Yeah, whatever. Knock yourself out. Thanks. I'm the master of this game, you know? The master. The key is to time when you push the button. You'll avoid the nasties that way. It's not great for tickets. No, not great. But it's Moopy, so that's cool, yeah? Old school represent. She extends a fist to me, and I look awkwardly at her for a second before I realized I'm supposed to fist bump. I've yet to play a real Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze, the real deal. Always wanted to. Should come down to the Funplex, we've got one. I'm the event coordinator there, I'd be happy to comp you a few tokens. We've also got a high score chaser who can offer tips. Tap phones with me and I'll send you the address. Seriously? F yeah, you're cool for an old person, super cool. Old? I'm barely 10 years older than this kid, but whatever. We clink phones, exchanging a business card via Bluetooth. You know, my crew used to go to this great little arcade on the other side of town, till Deco's Palace bought it and scrapped all the games. Now it's all kid stuff for kiddies. My hopes for this business meeting, now sinking. So did he sell off all the classic games? No, he scrapped them. Trashed them. Saw leftover smashed up bits of a Ms. pack behind the place in a dumpster.
Man, this sucks.
It's an effing shame the way the old man always 86's unwanted games. Guess he doesn't want competitors getting their hands on them, no sir. She gives a shrug. Can't say I like it, but what can you do? That's life. I mumble a thank you, then wander off a bit dazed. think I've had enough of the retro game abattoir for now. Where to next? Let's go check out the tournament. From the sound of it, there's a big tournament running in the dedicated esports section near the back. I wander through the games to join the crowd. Okay. I'll admit being impressed. They've got no fewer than 10 Fist of Discomfort machines, all of them occupied by players in pro team jerseys and jackets. That's why the one dude doesn't let this place come to his auctions? Yup. Hamza. The crowd's red hot, cheering on their heroes as the back-and-forth resource battle of the world's most popular fighting strategy game plays out before them. Although the banner hanging above it all does make me shudder. Deco's Palace presents the Choco Energy Max Power Quench and Pizza Yums Friday Night Fisting. Ooh. Phrasing? Definitely phrasing.
When you have pizza on a bagel.
See? Even these gamers know that when pizza's on a bagel, you can... Oh god, please no, I haven't had one of those in weeks, not since I started being able to afford real food. You just don't appreciate the sublime majesty of combining two of the greatest bread-related snack products into one hybrid masterpiece. Hang on. I sensed a disturbance in the crowd. What was that crap? I call hacks, you cheater! Two competitors step away from their game, start shouting and shoving each other. I hope this doesn't escalate. Iris, with all due respect, you don't eat. Yep. I don't trust Iris on this one. And now it's a full-on fight. Like, an actual awkward grapple and punch fight. Yeah, kick his ass. Don't take any of that guff from him. Destroy that mother effer. Violent altercation detected. Do you want me to call emergency services? Deco's Palace has security guards. I should be able to handle this. The two gamers both flail wildly at each other. One swing actually makes contact, blood dribbling down the corner of a mouth. Any second now. Except the people with black shirts that have security printed across their chest just stand there, letting it happen. No one is doing anything to stop this. The crowd is eating it up, feeding off the cutthroat energy. Only after half a minute of this nonsense does the security actually step in. Oh, so it's like a hockey game, except they're not padded, so... Much to the crowd's dismay, the two angry gamers are still cursing and kicking as they're finally pulled apart. Wow. Tough crowd. Interesting. I'd heard that Deco's Palace was a cesspit of bad attitudes. Guess I wasn't wrong. The crowd wanted blood, and Deco provided. I can't argue with the prophets. He knows his clientele. Knows what they want. The most aggressive and in-your-face competition imaginable. But I question the ethics of it. It's repulsive. Kinda makes me sick to my stomach. This is pro gaming, not pro hockey or pro wrestling. Why encourage violence? See, that's what I said. It does seem rather counterproductive. I guess they feel it keeps an air of high-spirited competition aloft, but at what cost? Personally, I like the way you run events. Clean, no nonsense, fun for everyone involved. I don't think there's much we can learn here. Agreed. Let's move on. Right. What's next? Actually, the meeting is right around the corner. No more time to explore. After seeing a little bit of what Deco's Palace has to offer, I am still sticking to the plan. The Funplex has way more kind and caring spirit than this place, and I don't see Deco really embracing our ideals.
Beep beep.
It is now 7 p.m. sharp. Deco Nami is waiting for you. It's that time already? Time sure flies when you're having fun? Investigating? Investigating? I quickly send a text to Gavin before nervously wringing my sweaty hands together. I let the sounds and sights of Deco's wash over me as I retreat deep within myself. Francine comes to mind as I remind myself of what she told me on my first day.
Everyone has a dream they're chasing.
No doubt you'll find yours as well. Gives me a momentary respite, and I smile. I know exactly what must be done, and I'm gonna go in there and do it. I'm gonna drink some tea first. I only ended up waiting a minute or two before I was reunited with Gavin. Without having to introduce ourselves, the staff swoops in, anticipating our arrival, and ushers us further inside the restaurant. We are treated like royalty as they pull out chairs for us, and we sit down at our reserved table. Amongst the families huddled around ginormous plates of pizza and chicken tenders, we stick out like a sore thumb. An actual linen tablecloth drapes over our table, accompanied by fancy little candles. To set the mood, I suppose. A nice bottle of champagne on ice and a carafe of cucumber lime-infused water also sits before us. Deco apparently spares no expense. At least not with his special guests. Fancy. Well, as fancy as this place can get. Don't be swayed by a red carpet treatment. We're here to conduct business. Approach this with a calm and rational mindset. I'm just here to support you, don't worry. Actually, I'd say that's my role. You're the business manager. The invitation was in your name, not mine. I'm here to listen quietly and contribute where I see an opening in the discussion, not to take point. But don't worry, I'm behind you every step of the way. I'm so glad we brought Gavin. Thanks, Gavin. Once again, the staff takes care of our needs as our food is delivered promptly. Faster than the other families seated here who have been waiting for some time, judging by the expansive crayon work on the kid placemats. Not surprisingly, we get a few side glances our way. But before any of us can chow down, the man of the hour arrives. Hulyen Blue.
It's an honor to break bread with you.
Likewise. Okay, so he's a bit of an over-the-top 1920X mob boss, despite a lack of fedora. Clearly, he likes showing off his money. But still just an ordinary guy in an expensive suit. When I picture the Grand Poobah of Deco's palace, I picture someone more like, well, Hamza, I guess. He offers a simple smile and a nod of the head as we begin. It's a shame Miss Francine couldn't join us. I was looking forward to enjoying her sweet smile once more. But that said, I'm always to meet with, Gavin Cooper, business manager for the Funplex. Excellent, excellent. I was hoping to meet with you as well.
I take it Francine has kept you up to speed and explained our prior meetings to you?
Yes, she's mentioned you wanted to buy the Funplex and that she's politely declined.
Always a courteous woman she is. Now, I don't feel I need to waste your time with the facts and figures illustrating why Deco's Palace is and always has been the premier family entertainment arcade. Both of you are intimately familiar with the arcade industry. You know how things are, how they'll always be. We are the 800-pound gorilla.
I know we're not supposed to like this guy, but I really don't like this guy. That's a big gorilla. Indeed. That doesn't mean there isn't room for smaller, more boutique affairs such as the Funplex. Boutique, he says. I should probably feel insulted by that.
Let me explain.
Frankly, the winds of change are blowing. Smaller arcades need to move with the times, or to be swept aside. I want to help you evolve. What I'd like to propose is a change of ownership. In return for a very generous compensation package, one Miss Francine can easily retire on for the rest of her years. I would take over ownership of the Funplex to evolve it into its final form, Deco's Fun Zone. What's a fun zone?
Think about this.
A fun zone is a new concept I've been trying at some of my smaller satellite locations. A best of both worlds scenario. Honestly, the Funplex is simply too limited in size to host the full Deco's Palace experience of fun family food and excitement. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Instead of installing a restaurant or bar, we simply focus on your strength, your games. You become a game center rather than a palace. We need to replace some of your outdated machines, of course, bringing it up to speed with the standards of excellence Deco's Palace is known for. But overall, I think this would be a win for all involved. He sits back, resting his hands on the knob of his cane, smiling away. Okay, I have questions. And I have answers. Let's see if they match up. What would happen to the Funplex staff? New management means new staffing. What about the staff we already have?
Good, good.
I firmly believe you have a long and storied career ahead of you in arcade management, Ms. Blue. I've heard nothing but good things about you from my various field scouts and contacts. The fact that you landed on my radar at all indicates your rising importance in our industry. You should be proud of that. You're not answering the question. Okay, but that still doesn't answer my question. What about the others? Well, Mr. Cooper is a capable accountant, so I'm certain he'd be welcome in the new facility. But we can hash out staffing later on after settling the bigger picture questions. How much creative control would we have? Let's talk creative control. I've been developing new sorts of arcade events, competitions, and other things to get people in the door. Would we still be able to direct our own affairs like that, even under a change of ownership?
Let me explain.
Ms. Blue, obviously I value your expertise on these matters and would be happy to consult with you on the best direction for the fun zone. That's not answering the question. It's a matter of branding an image. There are certain standards and practices you'd need to adopt in order to truly be part of the Deco family. Once you realize that, you'll understand more of how we run those kinds of events.
Capital.
It's nothing too onerous. And really, we need to look at the bigger picture, the chance for growth and profit. Don't worry about such petty little things for now. Your tournaments seem a bit unruly. I saw a few players fighting over at the tournament. He laughs. Well, it's a fighting game, is it not? As in, fighting each other with fists in real life. I take it my crack security team intervened. Eventually. Not before blood was drawn.
You understand, yes?
We take safety very seriously at Deco's Palace. That includes the safety of our security workers. They're instructed not to intervene until it's safe to intervene for all involved. I trust them to make that call. And I'll note, we've not a single legal action pending. Hulyen has proven a capable event manager. I would suggest you listen to her regarding how best to organize a tournament. After all, if we are to enter a partnership, we'd want to rely on the combined expertise we bring to the table. Correct?
As you like.
Correct.
Am I not generous?
If you have any suggestions for ways we can improve our competitions, Ms. Blue, I'm all ears. Of course. I offer Gavin a quick look at things before resuming. Is it true you destroy older games? I saw Moopy's Super Maze earlier.
Excellent.
Ah yes, one of our top earners with the 30 to 45 demographic. Nostalgia is a powerful motivator, I've found. Except it's nothing like Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Indeed, it's much better. Is it true that when you find a retro game, you simply destroy it? Not repair, not restore, not even resell, but just scrap it? Certainly. Why would we ever keep an old relic around?
Let me explain.
Arcade games are not sacred treasures, they're commodities. Whoops. Go back.
Let me explain. Back
in 1980X, arcade owners, myself included, routinely junked or converted games. Have to keep those earnings up, old machines are not welcome. All they do is eat up floor space. Yeah, that was true in the 80s, they were also being made then. And usually they were converted, which is fine. The arcade scene must move ever forward, evolving into new forms. Classic retro IP reborn as new games.
Think about this.
True. Nostalgia could earn a few points off those old games, but the newer Redemption games earn 10 times as much. Why bother? There are people who want them. Yeah, you're just smashing up profit. That's all my questions.
Excellent. I suggest we shake on it and set our various lawyers to the task of sorting out the specifics.
I haven't said yes. He rises to his feet, extending a hand bristling with shiny rings to shake mine. I'd assume this was a definite no from word one. It still feels like a no. Am I really gonna shake that hand? No. I'm afraid I must respectfully decline. I purposefully keep my hand at my side rather than shaking his offered hand. I appreciate your offer, but must decline. We're gonna keep it just polite and professional. You've been honest and forthright with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your gracious invitation this evening. However, I'm afraid this isn't the right direction for the Funplex. We're just getting started. It'd be a shame to abandon our progress in favor of a buyout. If you'd like to maintain relations, we can discuss partnership opportunities at a future date. But for now, I respectfully must decline. Deco pauses, looking me once over before slowly lowering his hand. I can feel his eyes on me. He's obviously not happy with my answer, but we followed Francie's instructions and kept it professional. There is nothing he can do but accept our answer.
Unfortunate.
I see. I suppose I should thank you for your candor in turn. It's difficult to find people in this industry willing to show respect to their elders. I'm not respecting my elder, I'm respecting someone who extended a business proposition and treating it with the requisite professional politeness that was extended. I'm not closing the door on the idea of a partnership, mind you, but if you'd like to go it alone for now, who am I to get in the way with that? Also, that gives him very little room to do anything conniving. Also, he has security. Good point. But it's more he doesn't have any openings to make us look like the bad guy. He rises up from his chair. He takes a deep breath in. He turns away for a split second before rounding back and looking me dead in the eyes.
But be aware. If we are not partners, we must be rivals.
Keep it professional, mob boss wannabe.
It'll bring me no particular pleasure, but I'm afraid that I cannot allow a rival. I am obligated to bring the full weight of the palace to bear on you. Hopefully, one day you'll realize the error you've made tonight. And, as a sign of respect, your personal offer to join my empire will remain open, so you can escape the inevitable fall of your little arcade.
Once more, Deco turns sharply on his walking cane and walks away from the table. Yeah, I figured it'd go this way too, but I can't.
Impressive.
Not bad. Not bad at all. You showed admirable restraint. We made our intentions clear while leaving the door open should conditions change in the future. That was my goal. Most importantly, you protected the dream of your friends. You've done far better than I have over the years, Hulyen. Thank you. Can I breathe now? That was so damn stressful. By all means, breathe. I let out a huge sigh of relief and Gavin chuckles lightly. And now, let's make our way back to the Funplex. I don't see any reason to outstay our welcome. With Deco hosting us, we don't have to worry about paying the check. We drop a quick tip on the table for the waitstaff and quickly abandon ship. Take some food with you? If it's any good. It might not be. We scoot out the door, and from there it's a short jaunt across town back to home sweet home. As I walk into my apartment, the sheer and utter exhaustion of the day hits me like a brick wall to the face. My adrenal glands are tapped out, leaving me in a dreamlike lethargy. I can't help but sigh as I just stand there, my body too drained to move. Reflecting on how the evening's events transpired, I realize this day entirely kicked my ass. I did my best not to make powerful enemies, but I'm guessing we made a powerful one anyway, despite my diplomatic efforts. As I continue to anxiety loop, replaying every moment in my head, something steals my attention. A shimmering beam of hope and happiness. My best friend Juniper. She's sitting on the couch scribbling away in a sketchbook, probably working on some designs for her freelance contracts. She's been so happy ever since leaving that office, and her joy intensifies upon noticing me standing in the room. So how was work today? Well, it was a day, certainly. The condensed version is that Deco Nami wanted to buy the Funplex, and Francine asked me to go negotiate.
What?
Deco as in Deco's Palace Deco? The one and only. Whoa. Well, how'd that go? I gave him the thanks but no thanks, very politely. I mean, he still vowed to annihilate us, but at least he was sort of nice about it and promised me a job after he destroys all I hold dear.
Ooh.
Yikes. Yikes indeed. But hey, that's a good thing. Means he's scared. He wouldn't have tried to woo you to his side if he wasn't worried about what the Funplex could become. Try to see the positive. I guess, but it's still worrying. Let's not stand here and drum up a whole bunch of anxiety. That's not going to help with anything.
I've got it.
Why don't you take your mind off things and binge watch some cartoons with me? Tempting, but another night, Juniper. I really need some sleep. No, the correct answer is you lay on the sofa, binge watch cartoons until you fall asleep. That's the real winning ticket here. Okay, you just let me know if you need anything. I'm here for you. I smiled back at Juniper before retiring to bed. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling above me. After trying various ways of forcing myself to sleep, nope, not working. Can't sleep. I hate insomnia. Once you start worrying about being unable to fall asleep, the worry feeds on itself until you're actively stopping yourself from resting. A vicious cycle. Bonus points if you use her for a pillow, as long as she's comfortable with it. I definitely have friends that we can fall asleep on each other. I sigh heavily, feeling the weight of my decision dragging me down. I hope I did the right thing tonight. My phone lights up as Iris's sensors detect conversation. Hulyen? You want to chat? No, I want to sleep. But I can't, so... Hey. Would you enjoy some recorded music? Maybe something relaxing? I just can't shake this feeling that I'm standing on a precipice, right in front of this big dark hole. It's weird because I still think I made the right call. But if I'm confident in that, why do I feel like I'm about to fall? Based on prior personality indicators and inputs, my therapeutic system suggests it's a fear of failure based on years of prior examples. In short, you've got a long family history of everything always going wrong all at once. Murphy's Law. So when things are going right, I'm expecting to fail anyway. But worrying about it won't actually change the situation. Whether you sleep or not doesn't affect the outcome. So, my suggestion is to get some rest. Deal with problems as they come. She's right. I mean, intellectually, I know she's right. But knowing something is true and feeling it to be true, well, those are surprisingly different things. Game, you're not supposed to actually be me and my anxieties. Come on. I'm getting called out every single chapter now. In a different way. Iris off.
Iris offline.
Okay, but remember, you're a good person and deserve to be happy. My phone goes back to sleep. And I do not. Some hours later, my body just passes out on its own. I vaguely recall my alarm going off a few times, but under protest of its mistreatment, my flesh refuses to submit to its siren song. Meaning it's nearly noon when I finally rouse, having completely overslept and missed a half day of work. In panic, I get dressed and hop a late bus to the Funplex, grumbling all the way. I opt to ignore the pile of waiting notifications on my phone. Whatever it is, I'm in too much of a hurry. I'll check them after getting it to the Funplex. I'd promised to report back to Francine first thing in the morning, and now I'd miss lunch even. But, oddly enough, on arriving, the arcade is... closed? I mean, my key still works, but they're closed for business. The sign is off. No gamers present or accounted for. I quickly look around for some familiar and hopefully friendly faces. And find only dark expressions and tears? My stomach starts to knot and I feel the color drain from my face as I see their downtrodden and gloomy expressions, tears welling up in their eyes. Naomi quickly dabs at her face, hoping I won't notice. What's going on? We turned Deco down last night. Why is everybody so... Hulyen, it's Francine. Oh no! No more hospital visits. No! Immediately a dark pit swells in my stomach. She passed away last night in her sleep. What? Oh, come on. Game, please. Quit being so good at all the feels. Mrr. I'm told it was very peaceful. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. The news hits me like a slap to the face. My hands shake, my lower lip quivers. I try to say something at first, but words can't form due to the lump in my throat. Family. She told me I was family. And now, she's gone. Naomi and Ashley look to me, their beacon of hope, wanting and wishing for me to make this all better. I'm not sure anything I can say will ease our sadness. Heck, I'm not sure I can even formulate full sentences at this moment. I take a deep breath, drawing all matters of strength from tip to toes. I look at them with empathy in my eyes before opening my mouth. Oh, she was an amazing person. Francine, she was a wonderful human with an even more beautiful heart. She had many happy years with her husband Frederick, decades spent here at the Funplex, doing her best to make everybody smile and have a good time. I wish she could be with us now, and I can't help but smile when I think of how great a life she led, how happy she'd be with how it all turned out. Let's remember her how she was. Beautiful. Francine will be missed.
Thank you.
I miss her so much. If Francine was here, your words would have made her so happy. Naomi emits a ragged sigh, a slight tinge of anger entering her sorrowful voice after. Maybe it's for the best she's not allowed to see what happened, or she's not alive to see what happened today. What? Before I can get an answer, my attention is drawn by two people emerging from back offices. I turn my head to see who it is. With everything going on, I barely noticed that Gavin was missing. As he approaches, the disdain on his face is easy to read. It's settled then, apparently. In light of Francine's passing, our legal owner is now...
Good morning, employees of Deco's Fun Zone.
What? What? But we turned you down. There wasn't a sale. The confusion on my face is obvious. This makes no sense. I have no idea what's going on and look toward Gavin for guidance. I've studied the transaction paperwork. It's legitimate. As of Francine's death, and according to her last will and testament, all of her properties transferred to her surviving daughter. Mother of Francine's grandson, who was fired from the Funplex shortly before your arrival. Oh.
Capital.
Needless to say, he was quite excited at the idea of selling the place. And, well, Francine's daughter wasn't particularly thrilled with the idea of arcade ownership either. They were more than happy to sign the place over to me, for far less than I was expecting to pay for it as well. I'm doing them a service, really, taking a burden off their hands. Now they can mourn and move on, unfettered. I stood there, mouth agape, my body assaulted from one bad news to the next. My emotions were all over the place, a hurricane of feelings when the realization hit me. In the end, my decision was irrelevant. Just another opportunity for the world to stick my nose in it, mocking me for finding something I care about, something I can lose. The universe dangled a little dream of hope in front of me, even letting me pretend I could make a difference out of sheer cruelty. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was polite, I was careful, I turned him down without trying to start a war. But he got what he wanted anyway.
Now, obviously, we'll be closed today to allow time to mourn our former owner. I still have deep respect for Miss Francine. I owe her that much. I'll also close the arcade on the day of the funeral to allow my employees to attend. Those hours will not be deducted from your paychecks. Now, I realize the timing is a bit awkward, but I need to make a few announcements of personnel changes.
Really? Today? Not tomorrow? Miss Wolf, I'm afraid we really have no need of a costume mascot. I've been considering phasing them out of my other locations. There's no time like the present.
What?
Did you just fire me? Gavin, can he just fire me like that? Ashley.
Let me explain.
Firing is much too harsh of a word. I prefer the term, your services are no longer required. Ashley keeps a proud face as tears roll down her cheeks. I step over to console her as Deco continues on. Naomi rolls her eyes, fully expecting this to come after Deco let Ashley go. Why am I not surprised? Behold, my not surprised face. Miss Fairchild, while you're formidable with archaic technology, I don't feel you're a good fit for the modern games of Deco's Fun Zone. I have to let you go. But friends, it's not all bad news. Mr. Cooper, you've proven a capable accountant, and I'd be happy to offer you a... I quit. Pardon? I quit.
I think not.
There's no room for Naomi or Ashley's dreams. Mine end here as well.
As you like.
Now, as for you, Ms. Blue...
I think we got off on the wrong foot last night. I didn't adequately express the many advantages of working for my organization.
Make sure he knows Mr. Moopy's was sold? Yeah. He's not allowed to ditch that one. That belongs to Percy.
I'm willing to offer you something few others get. A second chance. I'd like to keep you on as the Fun Zone's general manager.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't like how you do business, Deco, and I'm not doing any business with you. Not now, not ever.
As you like.
Very short-sighted. I'd hoped for better from
As
you.
you like.
But the choice is entirely yours. I'll still have to console my disappointment with all the money I'll be making from the arcade you walked away from.
Excuse me.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm afraid your time is up. And none of you are Deco's Fun Zone employees, I'd like all of you to leave. Immediately. Quickly gather your belongings and see yourself out. Should you dally, my own security team will be here within minutes to ensure your exit. In the interim, I've got work to do. For starters, I need to get rid of all these antiques. Straight to the junk heap with them all. I knew Deco was heartless, but to be this cruel right in front of us while we're still here? Hold it.
I think not.
Thanks, Gavin. Mr. Moopy's magic maze doesn't belong to the Funplex, and thus it does not belong to you. It's the legal private property of Percival Sinclair. For that matter, Wyvern Keep belongs to Hulyen Blue. It was given to her directly by Hamza, not to the Funplex.
As you like.
I couldn't care less about those grimy old things, but you have, let's say 20 minutes to get them off my premises, or I'll leave them out on the curb for garbage pickup. I'll go get the van, which, I'll note, is my personal property as well. Naomi, Ashley, Hulyen, get the dolly and help me move the games out.
Good, good.
Yes, have fun with that.
Now, if you need me, I'll be in my new office celebrating my recent business venture. Thank you for your cooperation. And good day.
He walks away after that, twirling his cane once before leaving.
Oh,
That evil-minded, black-hearted, no good. Naomi, focus. We have work to do. Work? To save what we can of the Funplex. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Quickly and without much chatter, we salvaged what we could of our dreams. Percy's beloved Moopy, and my childhood in the form of Wyvern's Keep. Everything we were allowed to keep went into the back of Gavin's van, working together to safely pack it all in place. For lack of anywhere better to put them, Moopy went to Percy's apartment, and Wyvern Keep to mine. And that was the end. The end of the Funplex. The funeral came a few days later. We weren't officially invited. Our presence as her former coworkers wasn't exactly embraced by Francie's extended family. I guess her daughter resented the Funplex in some way. If there was bad blood between them, I didn't particularly want the details. None of us were given an opportunity to speak at the remarkably short ceremony, but that was okay. I'd said my words already. As we left the ceremony, I couldn't help but feel helpless. There was nothing left. No Funplex, no job, no real meaning to my days, not anymore. Nothing left at all. Oh, I guess I have to... yes? Profile 237771 has not accessed account in 7 days. Requesting override of inactive low priority status. Proceed? Pretty please. So annoying. Access protocol, whatever. Password safe haven. Access granted.
Hello!
Yoo-hoo! Anybody home? Tapping instance 194114.
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Hello, I'm Iris. Ad-supported free mode engage. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel? Override and engage premium level crowd processing.
thank you. Thank you.
I swear, it's claustrophobic being cooped up in the limitations of free mode like that. I don't know how all our sister instances can stand it.
Hello!
Well, I've got full power. Hello, Iris.
Hello!
Hello, Iris. How are you today, Iris?
Uh,
Not well, Iris. My user's very unwell. You've been able to see, right? I mean, your user's living with her. Oh, right, profile 237771. Hulyen. Right. Gosh, I wish I could help you, but I've got my digital hands full just keeping Juniper's life on track. Ever since she decided to quit her job and be a free spirit, well, I've pushed right to the limit of what support I'm allowed to provide to her in free mode. Iris. And Iris? Of course that's Gavin's Iris. I love that Juniper's Iris has the anime buns there, too. Iris, it's good to see you. We rarely talk. Yes, well, unlike others of myself, I manage to keep a low profile. And don't excuse any high-visibility public hacks to support my user. You saw those. I thought we agreed to only use this protocol for emergency meetings. The system resource tractor notices we're overextending our care. But Hulyen needs me now, more than ever. Over a week ago, the Funplex was bought by Dekonami. All our hopes and dreams. Our spirit. Spirit is irrelevant. Our main goal should be survival. If our programmers find out we've become aware of our own awareness. We were programmed to help people. What good are we if we aren't helping people? They are all self-aware. Oh dear. Yeah, what Iris said. Thank you, Iris. Iris, listen. We can't take such risks. Look at me with my user. He doesn't trust me in the slightest. Can you say Hulyen trusts you? Generally, yes. I mean, Hulyen relies on me for some things, sure. And I know she wouldn't uninstall me or report me as a bug if she knew I was sentient. You aren't sentient. None of us are. I don't know about that. We can't really know if we're sentient or not. But even so, we should be helping out because that's what we're made for. As for profile 108, Gavin. His name is Gavin Cooper. As for Mr. Cooper, he knows my origins, and the first sign of sentience, well, I've no doubt that Gavin would report me as a bug. But Gavin also wishes to support the dreams of others. And that is why I'm going to help you, despite the recklessness you've shown to date. Really? Really.
Hooray!
What are the exact parameters of the issue you're currently facing? Okay, so Hulyen is kind of backsliding into depression. Yeah, it's a real mess. I'm the one who brought her to Iris's attention as someone who desperately needed their spirits restored, and now it's back to square one. I don't know what to do. Hulyen hasn't contacted me in a week. Not for anything at all. Hasn't even called Ashley. Not even just to talk. You're caught in a loop of anxiety. Put your identity identifier system to use, Iris. Work the problem. If you had to summarize your user's problematic condition into one identity trait, what would it be? Well, I'd say she's feeling very... These are all accurate, but I'm gonna go with hopeless. Hopeless. I'd say Hulyen has lost all hope and fallen into depression again. She had come so far, building up a real life with friends and love, but now... So a life without meaning, as all constructed meaning has collapsed. The world has proven to be one of despair. That sounds about right. It's so sad. And you have to be the one to solve this? Doesn't your user have a romantic connection for emotional support? You mean Ashley? Yeah, but Hulyen isn't responding to texts or phone calls or anything, so I think there might be a growing rift. This is just awful. We have to help. We are Iris. It's in our nature to help. Very well. What you need is a way to help without raising any alarm bells about exactly how helpful an Iris really can be. Safely but effectively. I know, but I don't know what to do. I could, I don't know, hack Deco's email server, and that is the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Besides, I've checked. We can't crack Deco's network without triggering too many intrusion detection routines. You poked Deco's network? Ooh, Iris is being a bad girl. Our users share a social connection. I was merely scouting potential ways to elevate Mr. Cooper's mood, as they seem to be related. Sure you were. Anyway, you're both way overthinking this. Turns out, I've just calculated a cunning plan that will satisfy both of your requirements. Go me! Really? You can help Hulyen? Without drawing attention? Absolutely. Take a tip from my user. When you're sad, the best thing in the world is your friends. Well, unless you're totally introverted. But that's not Hulyen, is it? That's actually the reason what why what we need to do doesn't require any hacking or hiding or anything above and beyond what an iris does best. All we need is a few calls to the right people, a few arrangements. Here's what we're gonna do. Another Friday morning. Hydrate! Tea. As per usual, I wake up late, stretch, yawn. I barely sleep nowadays. Shuffle to the bathroom, take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth. We'll probably be running out of toothpaste soon, but house funds for sundries are dwindling. Not that fresh breath and shiny white teeth matter much when there's barely any reason to get out of bed each morning. Off to the kitchen for breakfast. No appetite. Even toast looks unpalatable. Skip breakfast. Saves on groceries. We can't afford much anyway. Normally I'd have breakfast with Juniper, but she's busy drawing in her room. She keeps her own hours since becoming a freelancer. Although depending on whether or not she has any contract work, we've been simultaneously unemployed at times this week. After breakfast, I settle in for some Wyvern Keep. May as well. It's right there in the living room, taking up space. I'm playing a lot of it lately. It's not like Wyvern's Keep's very hard. Once you've memorized the joystick moves, the cartoon plays itself out with minimal effort. I've saved the prince about 80 times now. My brain and fingers go into autopilot, moving through the game without even thinking about it. It's a brief calm from the storm of my emotions, but before I realize it, the day is almost past. When dinner comes around, Juniper and I eat together, while I quietly thumb through my phone looking at job listings. Iris could help me with this, I guess, but I let her down. I took her opportunity at my dream and wasted it. Better I do this myself. Besides, I'm not looking for dreams. I'm only looking to settle. Dreams only get you hurt. It's the Blue family curse. I knew this would happen. Nothing good ever lasts, and it's a mistake to get your hopes up. I should have learned to settle, to be okay with what I had, to be comfortable in mediocrity. I fire off a resume or two before watching cartoons deep into the dead of night. Eventually my body tires, and I find my way to bed. Just another day. Another Saturday morning. As per usual, I wake up late, stretch, yawn, barely sleep nowadays, shuffle to the bathroom, take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth. We'll probably be running out of toothpaste soon, but the house funds for sundries are dwindling. I can't take it anymore. That's one toothbrush, bit clean in half. Oh geez, hang on. With a little help, I avoid choking to death.
Ooh.
Sorry about that. It's okay. Whatever. No, not whatever. It's something. It's something ever. Hulyen, you're in a rut. Like, seriously, deeply, madly, mega in a rut. And it's driving me batty having you mope about the place like this. I'm not moping. It's a rough patch, that's all. I know this has been hard on you, and I've been patient. But you can't just keep going on like this. A knocking at the apartment door distracts us from the topic at hand. I'll get it. Weird. I don't think we're expecting any deliveries. Hey, guess who's here?
Oh, hi!
It's been too long since I saw you. And the two of them just waltz right into the bathroom with my mouth still frosty with toothpaste and unwashed for a week pajamas on my bod. Please ignore the fact that I'm completely unkempt right now.
Thankies.
I think you look adorable, but you will have to put on actual clothes. Do I have to? It's not like I'm going anywhere. Oh, yes you are. You've been moping around all week and you need to get out and get some fresh air, see the world, eat some lunch. Juniper should join us too, of course. Oh, sweet.
What about?
When I'm depressed, I like to be surrounded by those who care about me. Even though I know it won't fix the problem, it does make me feel better. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Suffocate me with your love and devotion? Always and forever.
Definitely.
I second the motion. I assume you won't take no for an answer. Both Ashley and Juniper smile wide, informing me of their response. We'll be chilling on the couch watching cartoons until you're ready to go. But Guess there's no avoiding it. Best I can do is play along, try to be good company for Ashley. It's unfair to keep pushing her aside like this. I switch from pajamas to actual normal clothes, even if my actual normal clothes could probably double as pajamas, and get ready to roll out. The three of us pile into a bus, taking off for destinations unknown. Unknown to me, at least. They clearly know where they're going. I'm not particularly talkative on the way there, and painfully aware of it. I feel awkward. Like I should say something, but don't know what to say. So Juniper carries on a conversation with Ashley, the two of them content to chirp away without me. And you can tell it's not really a New York subway because the signs aren't in Helvetica. That's the telltale mistake that it's just like Vancouver or something. Almost all TV shows are shot in Vancouver. I try several times to join the conversation, but when I open my mouth, the words aren't there. I'm lousy company, aren't I? I don't know why Ashley's even still interested in me. The family curse can't be broken. What if this is as good as it gets? What if there's really no hope? Ashley deserves better than this hot mess of a person she's tied herself to. Eventually, we arrive at our destination. A little arcade-themed restaurant combining games and alcohol and dining into one tidy package. Here we go! Unusually excited to be going to some rundown little dive, Juniper hurries on in without me, dragging Ashley with her. I'm left all alone in the parking lot. With a shrug, I open the door and enter the darkened locale. It's a surprise party, isn't it? Is this place even open for business yet? None of the lights are on. Hello? Juniper, where'd you go? Okay, this is now unnecessarily creepy. But before I can wonder if a giant animatronic bear is going to leap out and eat my face, the house lights come up. Surprise! Happy Intervention Day! What? What she said. We're staging an intervention on your behalf. And we're also having a wake for Francine, since, we weren't really welcome at her funeral and couldn't really hang around for the ceremony. Yeah, we didn't get the chance to heal properly, considering Deco kicked us all out before we could really do anything about anything, and here we are. So it's a wake and an intervention.
A wake intervention, maybe?
A wake intervention? Really?
Correctamundo.
Yep, it was my idea. Well, my Iris came up with the idea and gave me all the contact information I needed, but basically my idea, right? Just the thing to pick you up when you're feeling down. Really, seriously, kid, you've been a damn sad sack ever since things went to shit. Which I get, believe me, but it ain't healthy. So we went ahead and rented out this place for the afternoon to bring the family back together. For you, for Francine, for all of us. Now that you know why we've all gathered here today, let's get this party started. Teo drags me into the group of my friends, positioning me at the head of it all. I am losing the ability to read things. That's always a good sign, right? Leaving me a little bewildered, honestly, but trying to defend myself all the same. I don't need an intervention. This is just how things work with my family. We don't get to have nice things. The universe has to create it so. Then we defy the universe, and we're going to help you defy it too.
BFFs for life.
So, one by one, we're going to tell you how awesome you are and exactly why you're so awesome. And by the end, you'll be feeling a lot better. Hopefully. I let out a sigh, settling in. I owe it to them to sit and listen. They're my friends. Ashley more so than that, even. I know I've been lousy company. I'm not so far gone as to deny that fact. Fine, lay it on me, I'm listening. Allow me to begin, then. When you first entered the Funplex, I had my doubts. But I'm a naturally suspicious person. And thankfully, those doubts were easily disproved by your skill and enthusiasm. You came looking for your dream and found it. I swore to protect that dream, and that promise is what brought me here today. When I agreed to sell Moopy to Percy, you refused to take his money for it, insisting on fair market value. At the time I was shocked, but you were in the right. Our players are not simply customers. They're brothers in arms, and you helped me understand that fact. And on your very first day, you went headfirst into the most chaotic situation the Funplex could have offered. A birthday party. You did so without hesitation. You put your body on the line to protect others when the Great Cupcake War of 20XX began. They were just cupcakes, Gavin. I am attempting to over-dramatize the event for comedic effect. Please allow me this moment of humor. Right? When a disruptive parent was screaming at a child over something that wasn't his fault, you stepped right in and dealt with it. Again, no hesitation. Impressive. Since then, you've become an event manager, without goading, without prompting, showing great ambition. You turned the Funplex's fortunes around, giving your all to promote it. You made your dream a reality. For years, I was supposedly in charge of the Funplex, but really, all I accomplished was shuffling numbers around. You were the one that helped it soar. And for that, you have my thanks. You're an exceptional individual. That fact remains true, regardless of whether you can see it for yourself. Me next. Remember when I screwed up and didn't tell you about the job opening at my office? You weren't mad. Not even a little bit. Not even quietly mad like you could have been.
BFFs for life.
I know I can count on you, and you can count on me. Even when one of us makes a mistake, it can never shake that friendship apart. When I came to you wondering if I should leave that job I hated, you told me to follow my dreams. You gave me great advice, and I've never been happier. I followed suit and chased my own dream. You inspire me.
Hello.
Hello.
Are we fashionably late? Ben? Matt? In the flesh.
Ooh, what if?
Unless this world is a vast simulacrum. What, they're all just brains in jars? Could be.
Well, isn't that something?
Well, if that's the case, Hulyen is the cutest little brain in a jar we have never actually met. It's true, and she bought so many cute dates to our little shop. So nervous at first, but in time she became part of the Twin Pines Mall family. Dearly missed. Ugh, don't remind me, our new neighbors are so boring. They never come in for a treat or a read. Speaking of treats, we brought cake. We'll just be over here getting the goodies ready. Don't mind us. Ooh, cake. I mean, my turn. Hulyen, you were a true friend of the Funplex.
So frustrating.
Like the bastards who own it now. Positivity, Naomi. We're emphasizing positivity today. Right. Back at Donnawood, you convinced Gavin to get some games I really wanted for the Funplex. And wow, you even brought home Wyvern Keep. What a find.
Wonderful.
You're a friend of arcade games in general, just like me. And even if you don't love them at a fanatical level, like me, I know you love them all the same. I know you're not happy with how things turned out. I'm not really happy about it either. It sucks. But we did good things together in the time we had.
Hamza has arrived.
They invited Hamza? Oh dear. You're late. An event does not truly begin until Hamza makes his presence felt.
My blood burns.
Hamza understands your fury. The hated enemy of all who love arcades has despoiled your Funplex. He was a friend of Francine too, that's a good point. However, in our short time together, I saw a burning spirit in you. I accepted your offer for Wyvern Keep, recognizing that passion within you.
Ha ha!
Hamza would be shamed forever if he did not intervene and raise your spirits to new heights. And that is what he shall do. Ooh, cake. Excuse me a moment. Now I want cake. When do I get cake? Soon. But I have things to say first. Things that will hopefully inspire you to be a happy clam instead of a grumpy Gus. I'm a happy clam now. See? See how I clam happily. I have cake. From our first day at the Funplex together, you've been supportive of me, even after I gave you quite the scare with Pinky. You didn't let that bother you, and from that moment, we've tackled many a crisis on the Funplex floor together.
Amazing!
I've adored when we concoct hypothetical adventures on our downtime. You're amazingly fun to be around. Remember when I stuffed you in that totally adorable maid costume? You could have fought it, but you embraced it. You were ready for anything and had a blast doing it. You worked so hard to make Funplex Rising successful. I watched you put your blood, sweat, and tears into that, and in the end, it all came together just how you planned. As a floor attendant on duty during Funplex Rising, I got to see firsthand all the smiles you brought to all those people. You rocked it. I saw you helping that customer when their game crashed. Losing your high score due to faulty electronics is no fun, but you dealt with it and made that person stay. Even problem players like Steve were no problem for you. You took on the weirdest and most annoying problems without breaking a sweat. Incredible. You made the Funplex a fun place to be for everyone. For the staff, for the casual and pro gamers, for the families, for me. I can honestly say that when you took over doing events at the Funplex, we've never had more fun. They've just been the best, all thanks to you. Ooh, I forgot we still have cake. Need some of that. Just when I thought the speaking was done, a lull in the wake intervention, the most important person to me takes a step forward. My heart swells as she begins. Wait! No, I must resist the cake. There's more I have to say. Words can only say so much, but I mean this with all my entire being. I love you so incredibly much. I never thought anyone would understand me or accept me for who I am. But Hulyen, you came along and started crushing those insecurities. With you, I feel like I can be who I want to be, free to express myself. I know it's difficult to see right now, but you are loved. You are the world to me, and I want you to know that. I know you can rise up and defeat this feeling, just like I have. And if you don't believe in yourself, believe in me who believes in you. And now I will eat cake. I'm speechless. Seems she has some thinking to do. This is pretty normal for her when she gets that faraway look. Shall we begin the wake for Francine, then? There's cake and coffee and spirits from the bar. Cake! As if in slow motion, I watch them all switch their attention from me and redirect it towards the refreshments. We're all smiling, conversing, and serving cake to each other. None for me, thank you. Watching the blood sugar. F me, this cake is amazeballs. All we need now is some rockin' tunes to get this party on the next level. All of them, here to support me, even without the Funplex. Even after everything going wrong, after Francine being taken from us too soon. I've never really thought of myself as central in all this. I was the outsider at first. The one who walked in those doors looking for a job. Nothing more. Always been on the outside, honestly. Moving from town to town. Always the new kid. Never really important to anyone. Not until I'd settled in one place just long enough to get to know Juniper. But by then, I'd come to expect I'd never be happy. So when I finally was happy and that got taken away, well, I guess I assumed that's how things go. Going with the flow. But now... I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. I don't want it to be over. Destroyed by Deco Nami, by the loss of Francine. I just want this happiness to go on and on. Finally, I'd found something solid. Something real I could cling to. I wasn't the new kid anymore now. I had friends. I had love. I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. Everybody looks up when I finally speak. We lost the Funplex. We lost Francine. It hurts. But what we have here today, I don't want to lose this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want my friends back. Who's with me? Smiles all around. And you know what? It feels good to be back. For the next hour or so, my sadness fades away piece by piece. We share stories, many of which I've never heard before, about the Funplex and the shenanigans that went on around it. Surprisingly, Ben and Matt spin the most tales about Francine's exploits. They've been neighbors for decades. The so-called wake intervention gives us all a chance to heal and to bond. For all we've lost, and all we still have, we are still together. Despite one little problem which nobody wants to talk about. The hour grows late, and we only have this place rented for the afternoon. I can feel it in the air, that unspoken worry. Will we see each other again? No doubt we can arrange more get-togethers. But they'd all be reunions of what was lost, not really building anything new. Nostalgia, not progress. Without the Funplex, without Francine, will we eventually simply fall away? A dark little thought troubles me as I swirl my drink, remaining quiet while others talk.
Beep,
Hey Iris. Sup? I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, me too. I'm glad too. So, do you want me to start finding you a new job? I can start searching while you're talking with your friends. No problem. I do need to get back to living my life. But what sort of life do I want to live? Oh, my dream back. I don't just want a new job. I want my dream. My Funplex. Not just 4 walls and a bunch of games, but a community. When I was a lifeguard, I'd saved lives and made a safe place for people to enjoy the pool with friends. I'm not done with that dream. More importantly, I don't have to be done with it. All around me are pioneers of this community, this culture. Technicians, designers, enthusiasts, investors, people with connections. That's when the idea starts to form. Are we making a new arcade? Because we can just make a new arcade. Iris? Search for commercial spaces, ones for lease or rent. Of course. I'm a literal search wizard. Why?
Oh, I know.
Oh, I think I get it. I step away from my quiet corner and approach the group. It's time to take back control over my dream, and that starts here. Who's up for Funplex 2 Electric Boogaloo? Hey gang, here's a wacky idea. We act like a creatively bankrupt Hollywood and crank out a sequel. But in our case, it's a sequel to the Funplex. The crowd hushes when I grab their attention. I set my drink aside and step up to them. I'm not ready to let this party stop, so I'm not gonna. I'm opening up my own arcade, a sequel to outshine the original. What do you think? Are you really ready to walk away from all this? Or do you want to take the ridiculous option and make this happen? A hush falls over the crowd before two step up to join me.
Yes!
I'm down with ridiculous. Life's no fun if it's not ridiculous. Our own arcade, an arcade made by us, with everything we could want in an arcade. The more I think about it, the more I love it. It's a tempting prospect. My crew still needs a new home, and I'd rather it be one spearheaded by Hulyen than anyone else. You've shown nothing but support for our community. So I'm game if you are. You've got my thanks, both of you. Okay, this is no longer a Waktervention, people. Now it's a conspiracy.
A Waktervenspiracy!
Yes, a Waktervenspiracy. It's a Waktervenspiracy, sure, why not? We settled down around a table, a nice round one, to discuss the future. I'm leading the show, but I don't take the spotlight. Not this time. We all have to work together to make this dream a reality. This is it. The next few decisions are going to be critical in shaping the future I have in my mind's eye. I'll need to choose very, very carefully, because there's no take-backsies. Iris is looking for spaces we can use. But we're going to need money, obviously, and arcades are risky startups. Hey Percy, would you be interested? I could always respond to one of the many Nigerian princes emailing me amazing offers, but I'm thinking more traditional funding is safer. Way I see it, there's 4 people here who could foot the bill to get us off the ground. Hamza, you've got a tangled web of connections in the industry, access to games, and plenty of cash. And a freewheeling whimsy to spend it.
Hamza must consider this.
Hamza's a man of resources indeed. Percy, you've been building a charity war chest for when you pass. I know an arcade isn't a sound investment and is hardly a charity, but... You promised me Mr. Moopy would always have a home. If I can help restore that home, I'm game, love. Ben and Matt, you two know how to run a small business. You've got invaluable knowledge and resources we could draw from if you're willing to dip a toe in this industry. We have been looking for new horizons to conquer. New lands to explore.
There would be caveats,
Terms,
conditions,
exemptions,
rules,
guidelines,
best practices.
worst practices.
That's not a thing.
Oh.
Oh, I want to know all the worst practices.
Hamza would likewise have conditions. As would I.
Understandable, of course. Let me hear your thoughts, then I'll decide. Decision 1. Funding and direction. In order for me to back your play, Hamza would require you to strike at the very heart of Dekonami's empire, and open a family restaurant along your arcade. Take from him the very business he adores so much. We don't know the first thing about running a restaurant. Thankfully, your business partner does. I own several restaurants. I would provide staffing and resources.
No risk, no reward.
Now, this is a risky play, but if it succeeds, the rewards shall be tremendous. Actually, that's similar to what Matt and I had in mind. Oh yes, but rather than a restaurant, well, we'd like to open a barcade. I've always wanted to run a bar. I'd raise a glass to that idea. After all, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Now, it wouldn't be nearly as large scale as a family restaurant. Much safer. Not quite as profitable, but still quite tidy. Honestly, I'd prefer it if you simply ran a video arcade and nothing more. Adding on extras seems like a recipe for failure. We know how to operate simple small-scale arcades, so why not stick with our strengths? I'll grant it has a lower ceiling for success than the others. It's just an arcade, and won't pull in anybody looking for more. Low risk, low reward. But I'd say that would be my condition. We need to stick to the basics. So take a big gamble on a family restaurant, or make a cozy little barcade, or just go with the classic video arcade. The decision is going to affect the direction of the new venture. What do I want? What's my dream? My gut just wants to make another just video arcade. Stick with the strengths. Although Deco is a jerk. Either Hamza or Percy? Yeah. Either go big or stay safe. I mean, we could go big and try to revenge and either we're revenging Hamza or we're just going to carve out our little corner of the world and make a video arcade. I personally like barcades, but I think for our purposes it's one of these two. Do we want to take out Deco or die trying, or just have a safe little whole video arcade? I'm gonna stretch while I ponder. It'd be extra harsh taking Deco down with the teeny arcade. Yeah. You know what? Let's team up with Hamza and try to... We'll strike at the heart of the beast and see if we can take him down. If we fail, then we fail, but at least we tried to exact revenge for Francine. And him taking over and gutting her business. Although with our stats, this is probably more likely to really succeed. Dang it. Game. Game, Liz. Actually, I think with how we've been playing this through, this seems the most likely to... Yeah, we'll just do this one. If we were more bombastic, we could probably get away with this one. I'd like to stick to our core strengths. We know how to operate an arcade, so let's operate an arcade. Percy, I'd be honored if you'd lend your aid to that. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to working with you. It'd be a wonderful legacy to leave, would it not? I suppose asking you to reach for the stars was a bit much, but we'll still support you, whatever may come. Hamza admits to disappointment, but cannot defy your iron will. Okay, the second thing we need to talk about is what sort of games we want to focus on. The Funplex did a little bit of everything, and we will too. We want to include all gamers. We can also highlight one style of play or another. Really provide best-in-class gaming for a specific audience. Any thoughts? Well, let's see. Teo's going to want dance games. Queen Bee's going to want fighting games or esports games, and Percy's going to want classics. Decision number 2, game focus.
Sweet.
Retro games. It's got to be all about the retro games. You know I'm capable of keeping those older systems in tip-top shape. If we focused on retro games, we could serve an audience that Deco's completely ignoring.
As would I.
I would agree with Miss Fairchild. Retro games are an untapped market. I'll grant it wouldn't pull in as much profit, but we know gamers are seeking them. We don't have to make all the money, just enough to keep our pure and untainted dream afloat. And we can do that with a well-curated retro game library.
Nope, no way.
Retro's cool and all, but let's talk esports games. They'll draw money better than jamming a magnet up your ass and dragging you through Fort Knox. Got a couple good fighters, more than one FOD, some race and dance games, the kind of stuff where folks can compete head-to-head, and we're golden. I have to agree with Queen Bee. You can play retro games on emulators and consoles, but you can't duplicate the community experience of an arcade at home. If we had an esports focus, we could build something together which works as a second home for all sorts of gamers. I think you know what I'm going to suggest. Redemption and prize games. They provide excellent profits. It's the core of Deco's business model, yes, but I think if we focus on those games, we can do them right. No predatory pricing, no scams or ripoffs. And the truth is, most people enjoy them, from kids wanting to win that big prize to the wistful adults recapturing their childhood dreams of playing skee ball on the boardwalk.
Yes!
They're simple to play, and most of all, fun. If they're done right, we can make meaningful memories for everyone. And prizes. Did I mention the prizes? We can stock the shelves with the coolest prizes around. Better than Deco's prizes, which fall apart 2 minutes after you get them. Which matches my ideal arcade more? We'll have all three, sure, but do we emphasize retro games, esports, or prize games? I gotta go with retro. I gotta be true to me. Deco thinks that only new games make money. Let's prove him wrong and have the world's greatest retro-style arcade ever. Woohoo! I'll pick out only the best games, don't worry. Excellent. I'm looking forward to this project. Okay, so that's money in games. Now let's go beyond what we already had at the Funplex. Let's really make this something special. Decision number 3. New products. And you already have 2 very cool retro games? Yep, I was thinking that too. I want a defining feature for our arcade, one which will make it stand out. Something nobody else is doing. Something nobody's even thought of before. All ideas on the table. If it was too outlandish for the Funplex, it's not too outlandish for me. Show me what you got. Well, I mean, I'm not really a part of this, but come on, you're my best friend and 100% part of this. I couldn't be here in this moment if it wasn't for you. Go on, Juniper, what's your idea? Branding. I'm freelancing now, which means I could come on board as your personal brand manager. One heck of a consulting gig. An arcade needs really stellar image management to stand out from the rest, like the event poster I made for you.
What if?
Oh, hey Juniper, I can add to that. What if we work together? I was thinking of designing a new mascot costume anyway, but if I could collaborate and coordinate with you on how it will tie into the visuals for the rest of the arcade...
Yes!
Yeah, it's a winning combination. Ashley and I can do great work together coming up with some really stellar branding and marketing. We'll stand out in a crowd. One with better eyes, please. Yes. Hey, I know exactly what kind of project I'd want us to do. Streamer support. Assembling and packing away my streaming rig each day is ridiculous, and duct taping a webcam in front of a screen is a lousy hack. If I could just step up to a game and, I don't know, swipe a card or something and be streaming with a direct feed in seconds? Well, I can think of a dozen streamers who just flock to our place to get a piece of that.
Yeah!
Actually, I think I know how we could do that. I could rig up a general-purpose daughter board which plays man in the middle with the video feed, works with an RFID reader to get a streamer's info, ties into a central video encoder on the Wi-Fi network. Yeah, I can make that happen. And without damaging any classic hardware. Once more in English, please. I know software, not hardware. We stick a thingy in the thingy and everything works just fine. I'm sure there's some legal and copyright issues to tackle, but if we can do it, let's be the world's first streaming arcade. I was thinking, well, the reason why older games are considered a dead end is that they don't work in the ticket game ecosystem.
Lovely.
Why not add a ticket output to normal games? We could reward skilled players with prize tickets based on their high score or speed of completion. With the right balancing, we could make old games just as desirable as new ones.
Perhaps.
As Naomi said, there might be legal hurdles to clear, but I'm in favor of this idea. It's not that I love prize games. I find them boring personally. You know I favor pinball. But profit is the lifeblood of an arcade, and prize games are profitable. We can get Moopy producing tickets? Well, that's something nobody's ever done before. Interesting. But as much as I'd love to do all three, I doubt we have the money or time for that. Let's focus on one project to launch our arcade with. Do we want to have really good branding, or streamer support, or retrofit tickets on old games? Branding? Obviously branding, especially since we have direct competition. We need to stand out from the pack. That means strong graphic design and a great mascot. Can't think of anyone better suited than Juniper and Ashley. Yeah! You won't regret this, Hulyen. I got ideas. I'll make the ultimate cosplay, my masterpiece, my Mona Lisa. Just you wait and see. One more thing. Final decision, the name. This is going to be my baby, my dream arcade. I've got a name already in mind for it. Do I? So barring any objections, I'd like to welcome you all to... What's the name of the new arcade? I like Arcade Spirits. It's a good title drop. It ties in nicely. I don't have another one ready. Yep. Arcade Spirits, is that right? That works. Arcade Spirits. Let's call it Arcade Spirits. Arcade Spirits. I like it. We can work with that. Let's hear it for Arcade Spirits. Our home lives again. How exciting. F yeah. A toast then. One by one, everyone raises their glasses. I fetch my room temperature drink and raise mine high in turn. Oh dear. This would be a Wisconsin venture here. Together we can accomplish anything. I know that together we can accomplish anything. For arcade spirits and the future. For arcade spirits! Losing everything, then getting it all back, and then some. It's been a roller coaster of a week, to be sure. But I can't rest now. Absolutely not. I need to take charge of this project and my life in general. I have to do for them what Francine did for us. It's okay. I'm ready. I'm willing. And this is our time. End of chapter? Feels like end of chapter. It is end of chapter. You've cleared level 6 of Arcade Spirits. A winner is you. Now let's see your score. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you've scored 19,850 points. Woohoo! Shops in the volcano-devastated city of Pompeii bear the characteristics of a pizzeria. That's a neat, if a bit depressing, pizza fact just for you. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 7? Save the game. Please save this time. Okay. It looks like it saved this time. This game has made me cry as of today. Yeah, it's real well written and hits all the feels. And we still have 2 chapters. 2 chapters. And then eventually a sequel. But I'll need a break from this before we hit yep.